welcome to Round Robin. Today we're going to introduce you to one of the many career programs at our high schools here in Hampton. But this one tastes better than the others. It is the Phoebus Culinary Program, which continues to reach new heights in training its students. My guest is Chef Wade O'Neill and Chef-to-be Jaquan White. Welcome.
Glad to be here.
First of all, this program has been at Phoebus for a while and has won national awards. I mean,
yes,
this is not new. You may be at a new level this year, but let's just give people a little background on this niche Phoebus has in culinary education.
Well, quite simply, it's a technical niche to assist students that want to go on a technical career path, specific to culinary, the one that we're working in. And it gives them some insights and understandings and builds a very, very basic foundation on good culinary practices so that when they transition out of high school, they can walk right into a commercial kitchen, get a basic level job, and then start working their way up through the culinary career, hospitality career, if that's what they choose to do.
It's fascinating, and it's very different than, the home ec courses that I took when I was in high school, because those really were geared toward, learning how to survive so that you don't starve as a grown-up. And this is a more career commercial kitchen.
Oh, absolutely. As a matter of fact, we actually get into the business component of it. The primary job of a chef or anybody in business is to make money. And so you have to understand how to make money, you have to understand how to manage money, you have to understand the processes and components that are essential to making money. And 9 out of 10 restaurants in America fail because, like you just mentioned, somebody does not understand one or the other side of that component.
Right. They know how to cook, they make wonderful foods, but they're not priced right, or they're not, successful in the marketplace or consistent, or whatever all those different factors are. It is one of the businesses that fails, sometimes not even for their own reasons, but it's a tough thing.
Very tough industry, very unforgiving industry. So we teach the students all the things they need to know. We get them on that right start. We try to put them into the right properties so they can continue to build the right way. And if they do that and they keep seeking out right properties and keep applying themselves, most of the students do really well.
So do you see your students, okay, well, let me ask about your background, because you're wearing your Culinary Institute of Virginia shirt. How did you end up at Phoebus?
I was at CIV, ECPI University, and Bruce was looking for another chef, professional chef. He wanted to bring in a couple of professional chefs to take the program to the next level, Mr. Godwin, the assistant principal there. Mm-hmm. And I sent the email out to a bunch of my students and colleagues, and then I kind of started thinking about it. Boy, it'd be kind of fun to teach at the high school level and get involved with the students, a year ahead of the ones that I'm getting at, freshmen in college. And so I floated in my resume. I didn't think that anything of it, and he gave me a call and he says, "When do you want to do the interview?" And so that was really exciting and really cool. And so I started this year as my first year.
But prior to teaching, before you moved into the teaching role,
gotcha.
What's your background?
Oh, my background is it's kind of extensive. In the industry, we call it a pedigree. So part of my pedigree is I worked with Chef Patrick O'Connell. He's the #1 ranked chef in the world. I got to do a little bit of time with Chef Paul Prudhomme. I did 3 months with him as a stage. He was one of my favorite chefs. The first chef I ever studied. It was really fun and exciting. I got to spend 2 weeks in Chef Trotter's kitchen.
Oh, wow.
Charlie Trotter, he's passed away recently, but a famous, amazing, brilliant chef. And all these things that I did were to kind of excite me. I got my master's degree many years ago, and I knew that if I was serious about this, I had to go get a culinary degree. So I went and got my associate's degree in culinary arts at Johnson & Wales University, and did that. And then I started working for some local chefs, Patrick and a few other people. And then I got a phone call out of the blue from one of my former teachers that was opening up the Culinary Institute of Virginia. And he said, "We're looking for a chef to teach. He mentioned one time, a long time ago, that if you ever got a chance to teach, are you still interested?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm very interested. I always wanted to do that." And so that door opened up. I got to do that. And,
That sounds great. All right, Jaquan, I've let you be quiet so far. What about the program interested you? Like, have you been, cooking beside your mom and grandma your whole life, or is this a new interest?
Yes, I have been around my grandma and my mama, like how they cook for holidays. I've been around them watching them cook, but that haven't inspired me to cook. But like once I got in high school, I seen like the different kind of clubs they have. And I decided to join culinary. And when I joined it, it was like, that's what interested me into wanting to cook and like the leadership things that they have inside of the program.
So this is really new to you. You haven't done a whole lot of cooking until this year, which is your freshman year, right?
Yes.
How did you even, it just like you started talking to people and it just everything clicked, right?
Yes. Pretty much like, some people be like, it's like it's like the word of mouth. Or either you got to come out, if you want it, you got to go for it. So pretty much that's what I did.
That sounds great. So you're still at the very beginning. Tell me assuming that Jaquan decides to stick with this program, what he will learn, and when he graduates from high school, what his next move could be.
Well, Chef Walker and I, our goal is that the students that are very serious about this, that apply themselves in all the right ways, should be able to walk out of here and successfully navigate their first year of culinary school if they go into the educational track. The second year, they're going to have to continue to learn and apply themselves to a greater extent. For those that want to walk right in the industry, they should be able to demonstrate the basic skill sets that will allow them to start at a slightly higher pay range than the person walking in right off the street, and being given a little bit more responsibility than the person walking right off the street. And their growth rate within that organization or the industry should be substantially faster as long as they continue to apply themselves. Because there's the basic set of processes, and if you do them right consistently, you can be very successful in this industry. So we're trying to develop that in our students. So with Jaquan's interest in entrepreneurship, his business interests, and the applied technical part of what we do in the kitchens, if he does that really, really well, he's off to a really good start to owning his own restaurant, because that's one of his lifelong goals.
So what makes you want to own a restaurant? Like, I just look at you and go, oh my gosh, do you know how much work that is? Like, you've got to be responsible for not just the dishes that come out of the kitchen, but the pricing and the menu and the picking out the right produce and hiring staff. And how do you know that's what you want to do?
You're not supposed to scare him out of the job.
But yeah, like I said, when I was with when I was in 8th grade, I was speaking to my business teacher, and she introduced me to Yay, the Entrepreneur Academy, and it was a year-long program, and that was after like middle school, and then after that I went there. So after that, the year-long school, they tell you how to do business plans, how to run a business, and the stuff that comes along with how to run a business. But when I graduated, that's when I first found out that I wanted to have a business. But I didn't know in what until I got in high school. And when I got in high school, I seen the field of culinary. So that's what I wanted to do.
All right, and that is a great program. I want to go ahead and give them a shout out to Yay, the Young Entrepreneurs, I forget what the A stands for, Association? Academy, run through the Virginia Peninsula Chamber of Commerce. I think it is a wonderful program for giving young kids the skills and fanning their desire, because I think, it is a scary thing. As an adult, I find it a scary thing. I don't know how Jaquan has the gumption and the energy to do it, but congratulations.
It is scary. Patrick O'Connell taught me 5 things, and one of the things he taught me was fearless. You have to be fearless to be an entrepreneur. And
that's why I'm never
this young man is fearless. He came to me and he said, I want to start up a culinary club. Tell her about the club you wanted to start up and what we're doing with that.
Okay. The culinary club is for students that's not inside the class during school, but they can come in and learn food handling and how to cook. So later on in life, they don't got to be waiting for somebody else to fix their food.
So we've started
See, that's really important
Exactly.
because I think as schools get more academic, more SOL oriented, more career oriented, the old style home ec class that I think had to take, I don't think I really had a choice back then, but those kinds of things, those life skills programs are squeezed out of our high schools because we are so academic and so, standards oriented that those kinds of things don't fit anymore for very many people. And so you're filling that gap with a club program. What a great idea.
It's a phenomenal idea because it's inclusive for the entire high school, anybody that wants to participate. And as an educator, the reason I'm supporting him is, one, because he took the initiative to do it, and I like that a lot. But two, I know the more things you get involved in outside of your core discipline, the more rounded the individual is and the more successful they'll be in life. And so he's doing me, the school, Hampton City Schools, a favor by letting us work together to make that happen. So it was a really neat thing that he started. And we're going to see that through. I think it's going to be really exciting.
That's a great idea. You also have a program that you're working on.
Yes, ma'am.
That is the same thing but for grown-ups.
Yes, I want to start a Playing with Food series, kitchen sessions for all the Hampton City School faculty and staff. What we're going to do is offer up coursework where you can sign up and participate in maybe a 3 to 4 hour class once a month where we teach you all the neat chef tricks, the basics, the fun things that you've always wanted to know how to do but we're afraid to ask, and then simplify it in such a way where you can go home that night and replicate everything you learned that evening in the class. The proceeds will all go right back into the program. That'll give us more buying power so we can do more things in the kitchen with our students, and then again take it to that next level, which is something that we're really excited to be able to do. So the other thing is that my students will get a chance to assist me when I do these classes. They'll get to see me working with adult learners, which is really cool because they can see that bridge now to becoming an adult learner, and some of the things that adult learners are doing a little different than the high school learners. It'll get them exposure to things that we don't cook as part of the curriculum, which is really cool, and some hands-on time with some of that. So it'll broaden and build a thicker, more substantial foundation for them to take with them when they leave the high school. I think that's really, really cool. So it's kind of a win-win.
And what a great thing for the faculty and staff to learn from the students. I know they're learning from you as well, but for the students to participate in
Absolutely.
that, it's a wonderful idea.
Absolutely. For me, it's fun. That's why I call it Playing with Food. I mean, it's hard work, and there's a lot of hours we put into it, but it's fun, it's exciting, it's very magical, and I think part of the gift is being able to share the magic of food and all that entails.
It is a commonality. I mean, we all love food. We may love different things about food or different kinds of food, but we all need food. It brings us together. It's the center of, family life and holidays and all those things. Food is wonderful. So
I'm glad you said that because one of my students said, I told him that your first response to the question on one of the quizzes has to be nutritional value, one of the reasons why we do this. And they said, why? And I said, because that's the first reason we all consume food is for sustenance and sustainability. The second reason is for the pleasure, the excitement, and all that. But sustainability, I don't ever lose sight of that. It's a real key component of what we do.
yeah, and health. Okay. Well, you also are working on a mentorship program or apprenticeship
Yes,
opportunity that Jaquan is going to be able to take advantage of. Tell us about that.
This is really exciting. This goes back to something that Chef Perkins and I were talking about when I was at ECPI University. And we wanted to do two things. Our goals were to do community service work for the Peninsula Food Bank and the homeless.
It's a great idea.
And so we've got a lot of stuff programmed and planned for that. As a matter of fact, my students will be assisting me in January, warming up Williamsburg, where we've got a lot of substantial donors that are to come in, and we're doing soups out of one of the churches up there. So my students are going to come up, and we're going to provide a soup meal to a lot of very gracious donors that are going to continue to sustain the Peninsula Food Bank, which is really phenomenal. We're going to do a program here out of our school in about 2 weeks, feeding the homeless. We're doing that, so we're continuing that tradition. The second thing we wanted to do was reach out and find young people that show potential and passion and interest in the industry and culinary and food and specifically. And so I reached out to him when he got up to Waypoint, and I said, hey, we talked about it, we want to do it, what do you think? And we had a couple of discussions and a couple of really good meetings talking about it. And so their restaurant, Chef Shadler, the same chef that fed the Queen of England and the heads of state when they were here, he's the owner of that property. Chef Perkins is a protege of Chef Shadler and known him for 30 years. He's an exceptionally brilliant and incredibly creative chef, hardworking. And an apprenticeship is really a schoolhouse where you're being paid to do a job. A lot of kitchens hand you the magic apron and say, go do this work. And they let you read instruction and try to figure it out. This is not what the professional restaurants do. This is not what Waypoint does and Chef Perkins and his team do. They actually have academic sessions where they meet with their employees, they discuss this, they teach them the basics and the foundations of how to be a professional and all that that entails. And there are adult learners, adult chefs that want to get in there simply so they can say, I worked there.
Worked there, right.
Now, he still has to go through an interview process in Williamsburg with Chef Shadler and Chef Perkins. But once he gets through that and they give him the nod, he's going to be in working for two of the greatest chefs in Virginia and one of the greatest chefs in the United States. And he's going to learn some of the most amazing things. We debated whether we wanted to use a ninth grader as our first student or not.
That's bold.
Yeah,
that really is.
But fearless.
He's got the drive. That's what matters.
Got the drive.
More than age.
And when he leaves there, if he sticks with the apprenticeship from now to graduation, he'll be a real force to reckon with. I truly wish I had an opportunity like that when I was starting out, because this is an amazing opportunity. And I know I'm putting a lot of pressure on this young man here, but he doesn't seem to be shaken by it, so it's an even better. He's got it all in check, and he knows the value of what he's getting too. That's another thing that I appreciate.
Well, that's a wonderful program. And, you know, as a former Phoebus parent, unfortunately my children have graduated. I know the culinary students often provided us with food at receptions, with, you know, dinner and a play. I mean, it is a great program and an asset to our community, but an asset to foodies everywhere who benefit from wonderful and creative and inventive chefs for our restaurants, whether we travel, whatever it is. So thank you so much, and good luck, Jaquan. Very excited for you to come back and, you know, cook for me sometime. And thank you for watching. I know that many people out there don't set foot in the high schools, don't understand everything that's going on, so we are committed to showing you some of the wonderful, outstanding programs that educate our students right here in Hampton. Thanks for watching.